Good morning once again. I welcome you in the fourth video of the chapter number 1. In this video, we are going to talk about, in the previous video, in the third video, we already started for the types of computer network. In this video also, we are going to talk about the types of computer network and what is meant by the protocol, as well as the different characteristics of the protocol that also we are going to learn in this chapter. If you remember friends, I told you in the previous lecture, in the previous video, and about the classification of the computer network. I told you that the computer networks are classified according to two different categories. Number one is nothing but the transmission method, and number two is nothing but the network scale. As per the transmission method, the networks are classified into two different categories. Number one is nothing but the point-to-point network, and number two is nothing but the broadcast network. And in previous video, we discussed about the point-to-point network as well as in a broadcast network and the different topologies. Okay, different topologies also. The networks can be classified. Networks can be classified as per the scale also. The networks can be classified as per the scale also. So, as per the network scale, the networks are classified into three different categories, and that categories are LAN, MAN, and third is nothing but the WAN. So, LAN stands for local area network, MAN stands for metropolitan area network, and WAN stands for wide area network. So, related with the network types, when we are going to classify the computer networks as per the network scale, the network can be classified into three different categories. Number one is nothing but the LAN, local area network. Now, what exactly a local area network means? A computer network which is situated in one geographical area and which is owned by a single organization, and the geographical area is not more than having 1 kilometer diameter. Such type of networks are called as a local area network. Once again, I am going to repeat this definition. A computer network which is situated in one geographical area. Here, when I am going to say that one geographical area, it means one hall also. The geographical area may be one hall, one building, or even one campus also. Okay, so a computer network which is situated in one geographical area, that geographical area should not have a diameter of 1 kilometer, and and it is owned by a single organization. Such type of computer networks are called as a local area network. So today you can say that number of local area networks we know. Okay, the in our computer labs also we are having a local area networks. Then, in our entire college campus, several buildings are there, and all that several buildings are connected by a computer network. So, we are going to say that it is a local area network because diameter is not more than 1 kilometer and which is owned by a single organization. So, whenever such type of situations are there, then we are going to say that that is nothing but the local area network. So after the local area network, we are having a wide area networks. Wide area network, the distance, the diameter is in between 1 to 10 kilometers. The local area networks are going to span a building, a small room, or even a campus. Whereas a metropolitan area network, whereas a man is going to connect, or it is used to connect the different networks from one city, even you can say that, or the nearby cities also. Okay, so the whenever the distance is more than 1 kilometer, but it is less than, or it is approximately not more than 10 kilometers, so, or you can say that distance is in between 1 to 10 kilometers, the networks are called as a metropolitan area network. This metropolitan area network may be owned by a single organization or may not be owned by a single organization. May be owned by a single organization or may not be owned by a single organization. Such type of networks are called as a metropolitan area network. Then we are having a WAN. WAN stands for, okay, a WAN may contain several small LANs also. Okay, a WAN. After that, we are having a WAN. WAN stands for a wide area network. At its name itself is going to describe what is meant by WAN. Okay, which is going to cover a wider area. Now, when I am going to say a wider area, here expectations are see, there are no such you can say that when I'm going to say a man is going to cover maximum up to 10 kilometers, it is just in a definition. But when there are so many networks which are going to cover 15 kilometers, what exactly we are going to call them? Still we are going to call them as a man only. Okay, they are man only. Okay, not van, they are man only. And after that, the bigger networks are nothing but the WAN, wide area network, a computer network which is having a diameter more than 100 kilometers. Such type of networks are called as a WAN. A WAN may contains number of local area network LANs or number of metropolitan area networks also. So this is about the one or two examples I am going to give you so that these concepts will be clear. After the WAN, we are having the internet. So what is the internet? Internet is nothing but the network of networks. Whenever number of networks we are going to connect with each other, then it is going to form an internet. And what is the scope of the internet? Scope is nothing but the entire world is nothing but the scope of the internet. Okay, today everyone is connected. Today everyone is connected either through a smartphone or through a mobile, through a laptop, through a computer. Everyone is connected and we are a part of big internet. Okay, I will talk on that later on. So different types of networks are also there. One simple example I am going to give you, and consider the ATMs. Okay, consider the ATMs. What is ATM? ATM is nothing but the machine. We know that it is a computerized machine. Consider the ATMs in our city. Okay, in our city. Okay, now consider State Bank of India. Okay, consider State Bank of India. For example, in our city, State Bank of India are having 100 different ATMs. Okay, 100 different ATMs. Can I say that all that ATMs are connected? Yes, all that ATMs are connected. So it is an example of MAN, Metropolitan Area Network. Okay, it is an example of metropolitan area network. Now consider in your city, there are two parallel roads and both the roads are very, very important roads. And in that parallel roads, we are having two different ATMs. The distance in between that parallel road is just 200 meters. So that network, that ATM centers are, that ATM machines are again connected. Yes, that ATM machines are again connected. Can I say that it is an example of, local area network? Yes, obviously it is an example of local area network. Now I am talking about the all ATM centers in Maharashtra. I am talking about all ATM centers in Maharashtra of SBI Bank. For example, whether they are connected with each other? Yes, they are connected with each other. It is an example of WAN, wide area network. All ATM centers, all ATM machines which are in the entire country, in our country. So that ATMs are, what we can say, whether it is the internet? No, it is what? A WAN. It is an example of WAN only. So wide area network. I hope these concepts are clear to you. What exactly a LAN, what is a MAN, and what is meant by a WAN. Okay, this example are going to, and what is the internet. Okay, these examples are going to explain, this example will understand what exactly this type of networks are. After this we are having, okay, the difference is also there. The what is mean by LAN, what is mean by WAN, what is a MAN, it is mentioned. Then we are having the area cover. Okay, so error rate, in LAN error rates are lowest, whereas in MAN the moderate, whereas in WAN the error rates are highest one. Then the transmission speed in LAN it is a higher, in WAN it is a lower, whereas in the MAN it is a moderate speed. Equipment cost in LAN it is very less, okay, it is very less. Inexpensive equipments we are going to use in LAN. In MAN moderate, and in WAN expensive equipments are there. Okay, examples are also there. Offices, cyber cafes are very good examples of LAN. ATM, FDDI are very good examples of MAN, and internet is an example of WAN also. Then data transfer rate in LAN it is a higher, in MAN it is a moderate, and in WAN it is a low speed. For LAN we are having a low setup cost. For MAN we are having a moderate setup costing which is required, and for WAN we are having a high setup cost. Okay, I hope the difference in between all these networks are clear to you. Okay, after this we are having a PAN. PAN stands for personal area network. Now what is meant by personal area network? Concept is very simple. My laptop is connected with my laptop is connected with my mobile, with my smartphone. It is a personal area network. My smart television is communicating with my smartphone. It is a personal area network. Are you getting now? So personal area network, you can say that mouse, keyboard, monitor, all they are connected through a Wi-Fi, or even you can say that Bluetooth. It is a very good example of a personal area network. Okay. After this, we are having a new concept, and that new concept is nothing but the protocol. Okay. Now, the definition I am going to tell you about the protocol. What is mean by protocol? Okay. So, definition of the protocol. Entire networking is nothing but the number of protocol. When you are going to understand the number of protocol, it means you are able to understand the complete networking. Entire networking is nothing but the number of protocol suites we are having. Okay, in second chapter we are going to talk about that. But what is the definition of the protocol? When one communicating party wants to communicate with another communicating party, when one communicating party wants to communicate with another communicating party, both of them has to follow certain rules and conventions. Both of them has to follow certain rules and conventions. That set of rules and conventions is called as a protocol for them. I repeat, when person A wants to communicate with person B, both the persons A and B has to follow certain rules and certain conventions. That set of rules and conventions is called as a protocol for them. When machine A wants to communicate with machine B, both the machine has to follow certain rules and communication, and that set of rules and communication is called as a protocol in between them only. For example, I want to communicate with my friend. I have to follow certain rules. I have to follow certain communication. So whatever certain conventions, whatever rules and conventions I am going to use, that is nothing but the protocol in between myself and my friend. Another example, I want to communicate with my principal sir. Again, certain rules and conventions I am going to use. That rules and convention is nothing but the protocol which is I am using for communication in between myself and my principal sir. I want to communicate with my daughters. I want to communicate with my daughters. Again, certain rules and conventions are there. I hope it is clear. So for communication, we have to follow certain rules. We have to follow certain communication. Okay, and that set of rules and communication is called as a protocol. Then this is not the types of protocol. Actually, by mistake it is typed. It is nothing but the characteristics. Okay, it is nothing but the components of the protocol. So what are the components of the protocol? Very first is nothing but the syntax. Number two is nothing but the semantics, and number three is nothing but the timings. These are very important characteristics of a protocol. Number one is a syntax, number two is nothing but the semantics, and number three is nothing but the timing. So what is the syntax of the protocol? Syntax of a protocol refers to the structure. Syntax of the protocol refers to a structure or format of data and signal levels. Format of data and signal level. Now, what is the format of data and signal levels? See, when one computer is going to communicate with another computer, the entire data is flowing. We know that the computers are digital one. Okay, computers are digital one, but that digital data is converted into signal, and then that signals are transmitted. So format of data and signal level. So in whenever we are talking about the signals, every signal is having different levels. A signal may have 2 levels, 8 levels, 4 levels, 16 level signals, etc., etc., etc. So a syntax of a protocol refers to the structure or format. It refers to the structure or format of data and signal levels. It indicates how to read the data. It indicates how to read the data. Why we needed to read the data? Because I am a computer, you are a computer. When I am going to transmit certain data to you, that data is transmitted by using the signal. After that, that signals are received by you as a receiver. And when that signals are received by you, you simply going to read it. So you require a format because you don't know in which format I have sent that signals to you. So how to read that data, it is also very important, as well as it also decides the order in which the data is presented to the receiver, as well as the order in which the data is represented to the receiver. What is meant by data is represented to the receiver? Now, when I am communicating as a machine, when I am communicating with you, so I am transmitting certain data. The data is transmitted in terms of signal. That also I told you. But when I am going to transmit you certain data, that is not only data I am going to transmit you. Always remember that data with the control information. Data with the control information I am going to transmit to you. So what is exactly a control information? Data you understand. But what exactly a control information? For example, my name, okay, then your name, who is sender of a data, myself, who is the receiver of the data, yourself. Are you getting? So all this is nothing but the, for example, control information. And in order, first I am going to send you the control information. After that, I am going to send you a data. So what order exactly I am going to use, it is again important. So this is nothing but the syntax. After that, semantics. Semantics refers to the interpretation of meaning of each section of bits or fields. It specifies which field defines what action. It also defines how a particular section of bits or patterns can be interpreted and what action needs to be taken. Data is received to you. Okay, data is received to you. Now the data is in a digital form, either a data, okay, there are only two different options. Either the data is 0, or because we are talking about a digital data, or the data is 1. Either 0, with the help of 0 and 1 only the data is transmitted. Agreed. Just now I told you that the data 0 and 1 is converted into signals. That also I agreed. Okay, signals are n number of forms. Okay, what is mean by 0? 0 is going to be represented by using some sort of signal. 1 is represented by using some sort of signal. So when I am going to say 0, 0 means what exactly? What receiver should understand by that 0 or 1? What exactly the pattern? What exactly the pattern of beats? When I am going to transmit you 10101010, what exactly it means? What is the pattern of this? Okay, this each and everything is defined by the semantics. After the timing is again very important. The term timing is related with the two different characteristics: when data should be sent and how fast they can be sent. Okay, when data should be sent and how fast the data should be sent. See, if I am going to transmit very fastly, only some data you are able to receive. If I am going to transmit you very slowly, then also there is a problem. If I am going to transmit fastly, there is a problem. If I am going to transmit data slowly, then again there is a problem. So moderate speed, or you can say that the correct speed the sender should maintain. The correct speed the sender should maintain. So example is also I have given here. A sender can send data at the speed of 20 Mbps, but the receiver is able to receive the data at the speed of what? 20 Mbps only. So 100 Mbps data is not, receiver is not able to receive the 100 Mbps data. Naturally, what will happen? The data loss will occur. So these are nothing but the characteristics. You can call them as a characteristic, but by mistake it is typed that types of protocol, but it is a mistake. So I hope it is clear to you what is mean by a protocol and what are the characteristics, or even you can say that components of the protocol. There are three different components or characteristics we discuss: syntax, semantics, and timings. After this, we are having a protocol standards. There are two different standards. Okay, what is meant by standards? Standards are essential in creating and maintaining an open competitive market for equipment manufacturers and in guaranteeing national and international interoperability of data and telecommunication technology and processes. Sorry. So standards describes accuracy and unambiguity, how information is transmitted. Standards break down complex idea into smaller, methodical, easier to understand components. What exactly it means? Very simple. I will make it simple. So what is the protocol standards? I told you that there are two different types of standards. Which are these two different standards? I will explain. But before that, what exactly the standards are? See, everyone knows about the ISI standard, Indian Standards Institute. What that ISI is going to do? This ISI is going to approve. This ISI is going to approve the production. Okay, there are so many manufacturers about the of so many things, and ISI is simply going to approve whatever they manufacture. Whatever they suppose a chair is manufactured by Nilkamal company, by XYZ company. Whether that chair is as per the standard or not, it is checked by whom? ISI. And if it is checked, if it is as per the standard, then you can say that ISI is going to permit them to print the logo ISI. Okay, so it is a standard. It is a standard. There are so many standards. For example, ISO 9001. ISO 9001 is one standard. It is related with what? Service sector. A company which is having ISO 9001, it means all the norms provided by ISO 9001 are carried out by that particular company who is claiming that they are having ISO 9001 certification. Are you getting? Now, for example, I am having one degree certificate. So whether that degree certificate is a standard one? Yes, because University of Pune, University of Pune has authorized one and they has given me that certificate. So a certain standard is there. It may happen that I am going to create one more certificate at my home and I am going to show that this is what my certificate, whether this is, you can say whether it is permitted, not at all, and nobody is going to believe on that certificate also. So related with this, related in the telecommunication sector, we are having two different types of standard, because when I am communicating in a Facebook from India, for example in America I am communicating, so whatever the different equipments which are used by the Facebook, I don't know, for the communication purpose, what I am using, that also Facebook don't know. If the equipments are not matching with each other, never there will be a communication. Are you getting? never there will be a communication. So for this communication, what we needed is we needed the compatibility, and this compatibility is given by these two different standards. Very first is nothing but the de facto standard, and number two is nothing but the de jure standards. Number one is nothing but the de facto standards, and number two is nothing but the de jure standards. Now what exactly the de facto standards? De facto standards are the standards which are not approved by an organized body but have been adopted as a standard through widespread use are the de facto standard. By experience we know that. By experience we know that the XYZ chair is a good one, for example. Okay. No, any standard organization is not approving that chair. Okay, it is not approved by any standard organization. But by experience we know that this chair is a good one. So such type of standards are called as a de facto standard. And what is the de jure standard? These standards are approved by, these standards are approved, or you can say that recognized by the de jure standards. There are certain standards, there are certain organizations who are going to approve this. For example, University of Pune, okay, who is going to approve certain things, whether student is passed in TY or not, etc, etc, etc. So all these are nothing but the standard. For example, IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Organization. For example, ISO, International Standards Organization. Okay, so there are number of organizations. So friends, this is the end of our chapter number 1. Okay, so what we discuss in this what we discuss in this video, we talked about the types. Okay, there are 3 different types: LAN, MAN, WAN. Again we talked about the internet also, then PAN, personal area network also, and the difference in between that. And after that we discussed about the about the protocol, the definition of the protocol, the components of the protocol. In the components we are having 3 different components: syntax, semantics, and timing. And last, about the protocol standards. There are 2 different types of protocol standard. Number 1 is a de facto, and number 2 is nothing but the de jure standards. I hope all these things are clear to you. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me on a Google Classroom. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is what end of our chapter number 1.